Welcome to Project Best Car.
Hello.
Hi.
Welcome.
Today we are pigs. What kind of pigs are we?
See, I didn't realize that this was the plan, that we were going to be pigs today.
I didn't either. It just kind of came up.
Why am I a pig?
I don't know.
Why am I a pig, Blake?
Because bacon.
Because, yeah, if we eat each other, we'll taste good.
Friends eat friends.
Welcome to Project Pig.
It was them all along.
Mine says Taylor on it.
Mine says Irene. And something on the feet.
Andy.
Heike?
Indeed.
Andy. Well, that was a dumb bit. Welcome to Project Best Car.
Hello.
Welcome.
Episode Trace?
4?
Is that what? No, 3.
I don't remember. I can't count.
Wow.
I
We
don't
haven't
know
hit 11 yet, so
Nope.
we're not toast.
We're not toast yet, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. We were informed the other day 11 is the average max.
11.
Actually, I gotta call Michael.
Comment below if you think we'll make it past 11.
I really hope so.
I hope so too.
I'm like, what are we? Oh, he's calling him.
Oh, you're actually doing it. Oh God.
Ladies
Don't
and
even be on
gentlemen, Blake is calling the man Rexing around.
Rexing around.
I wouldn't answer.
He complained
I
that
wouldn't.
we didn't mention him, so I'm mentioning him first when he's driving and listens to this.
Yeah.
Yeah. And if he doesn't answer, then
Then that's
He
on
can't be
him.
mad
He's gonna watch
anymore.
this and be like, well,
I tried.
Michael,
I did.
We tried.
Come on.
Call. It's been full.
There you are. Okay, the number's not showing.
Hey, so sorry I missed your call. Feel free to leave me a text or a voice
You should leave him a text.
important, and I'll try to get back to you.
How do
Thanks
you
so
leave a
much.
text
Have
and
a
a
good day.
voicemail?
At the tone, please record your message. When you finish recording, you may hang up or press 1 for more options.
Hi, Michael. You are on the set of Project Best Car.
Well, not really, but
Okay, bye.
we tried.
Yeah.
We tried.
We tried.
Well,
So you can't be mad.
that happened.
Yep. You can't be mad, Michael. Sorry. Okay, into today's topic.
Today's topic. So what we decided to do was, well, at least some of us tried to watch the fan recut versions.
Hey, I watched
Of-
most of it.
If you give me homework, chances are I probably won't do it.
So that happened. The recut fan versions of the Kenobi show and Book of Boba Fett.
Yes.
So the Kenobi and part 1 of Book of Boba Fett were done by Kai Patterson Films. Is that his full name?
I think so.
I know
Anyway,
the
he-
Kai part.
I found him on TikTok probably like a month ago now? No. A little less than that. Whenever the TikTok came out and I was like, "Oh, we should watch this." Never watched it until last night. But he
I haven't seen it
basically
either.
what he did was he cut all the stuff out, like kind of like the fluff and all the things that didn't really need to be in the show, and made it into a 2.5 hour movie for Kenobi, and then Book of Boba Fett is 2.5 hours for the first one.
Yes. And part 2 is not done by Kai Patterson.
Oh, really?
I think he ended up splitting them up because there was someone else that did a Kenobi recut. And I think in one of his TikTok videos, he said, oh, let's just work together
Yeah.
and let's make Book of Boba Fett recut. But
Okay.
you get part 2, I get part 1. And I think, what's that one called? I have my iPad for notes because I
Nice.
took notes when I watched it.
I did not.
Of
I don't
course,
think Jeremy even
Westin-
watched it.
Of course,
Any of them?
Westin
See-
actually watched the Boba Fett show
Yeah.
and took notes about Boba Fett.
Yeah.
I did it for Kenobi too. I watched that
Okay.
as well.
Okay.
So my problem with it was
Wait.
I feel like no. What I'm saying.
Oh, okay.
No. This isn't like a breakdown portion. I'm just saying like having not watched Boba Fett in a while, and Kenobi just finished, but like I feel like in order to figure out exactly what's different is watching all of Kenobi and then watching the movie.
Yeah.
You know, that was like the only like hard part. Because I was like, is that in it? Is that a part of the cut? Like,
Right.
that was the hard part of
That's
figuring
how
out
I
which
felt
was.
too when I
Yeah.
started that. Pentex Productions is the person responsible for part 2
Okay,
Boba Fett recut.
cool.
But yeah, You want to start with Kenobi or Boba Fett?
Let's start with, I guess, Boba Fett. Because I know you want to start with Boba Fett.
I'm always good with that.
Hence the fully decked out Boba Fett set.
Yes.
It's half decked.
Oh, that is coffee on the table.
We're gonna leave rings on our not table.
Now you have to clean that up.
No. We'll do it after this, I guess.
Wow.
Unless you want me to leave right now.
Now you have proof that you left coffee on the table.
Oh
No.
god. I'll
Crap.
fix it in post.
Okay, yeah, we'll fix it in post.
Please do.
So
We'll blur out the coffee line.
Just blur out the coffee.
Yep.
I don't even think you can see it. so.
What mess?
All right. We will
So-
start
Oh,
with.
you took notes.
I took notes.
Let me see your notes.
You want to see my notes?
Holy crap.
He
Kinda hard to
even
see, but-
doodled a little
I did.
Boba
I
Fett.
doodled a little Boba helmet because I could.
Wow.
'Cause
I
I
wish I
could.
was an artist.
Dude, I never used to do homework very well.
Yeah.
This is the first time I was actually like, oh, I'm going to write everything down. I'm
Yeah.
gonna write
When
what I
you, when you
feel.
go back to school shopping, you're like, notebooks? No. These are sketchbooks
Actually, yeah.
with
I
the,
sketched
with
in
the
most
sprinkle
of,
of
my
notes in
Mhm.
there.
That's what it was. That's why whenever people are like, oh, how do you learn to draw? You're like, I just doodled in class all the time. That was what I did. Like this.
I wish I
So,
could draw. I really do.
you practice.
Good at
Anyone
stick
can
people.
draw.
Yeah, I can't even draw a stick figure.
Can
well.
anyone cook?
Yes.
Anyone can cook.
I think you can do anything you want. You just have to practice.
Yes.
Yeah.
But there is that like one thing like it's practice, but also a little bit of talent. Like I couldn't draw anything to sell, like pins, posters, stuff like that. I feel like you have to have that little something, you know? I don't know. Could be wrong.
You have that something.
You do.
Good
do.
for you.
My little station is full of Mando drawings from Westin.
Those are just work
There's a
doodles.
whole
Yeah.
like cork board of just
Yeah.
doodles.
Actually,
done
no,
by
it's just a piece
Westin.
of cardboard.
Oh, is it a
He
cardboard?
just tapes it on cardboard.
I
Yeah.
thought
is,
it was
yeah.
cork board. I thought they
Yeah.
got fancy with it.
But it does look cool. And I'm going to keep it forever. It's
Ah,
mine now.
I mean, they're mine, but
Nope.
they
No.
can stay there for now.
Mine now.
Anyway,
You're gonna sell them when you're famous.
back to Book of Boba Fett Part 1. What was it called? I think it was called Without a Tribe is what they ended up naming that one. So it's about 2.5 hours long, which, yeah, is a lot to get through. And Part
Yeah.
1 covers pretty much just Boba's story with the Tuskens at first. All of his pre-Season 2 intro. And at the end, it gets to Season 2, and then it takes off towards the end of the season, where Boba is actually present with Mando. And it's also cool because from the beginning, it tries to tie in Mando's story
Yeah.
with Boba to be like, oh, this is happening at the same time, so that when they actually meet on, what was it called? Tython?
Yes.
That's the planet. Oh, okay, fine.
It's
I thought they
one
meant
on-
where Grogu's on the rock.
Oh,
yeah,
yes.
yeah, Tython.
For some reason, I was thinking Tatooine, and I was like,
Mhm.
they didn't meet on Tatooine, did they?
You're like it's a planet with the
You
T.
see,
Planet
you see
with
them
T.
both on Tatooine in the end.
That's why
but
I was
they
getting
first
confused
meet on
about it,
Tython.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I did watch the first one, and then
Right.
Kenobi, but I didn't get through the second one of Book of Boba.
Yeah, don't worry, I got us covered.
Cool.
Yeah.
Thanks. Well, it was just, I mean, that's, almost
then
8
there's-
hours of content
Yeah.
to watch.
a
And
lot.
he cut a ton of it out, which is crazy. So, all right, go on
Yeah.
with your notes, because I
I
didn't take any.
I didn't watch any of it.
know. So we
You
have
serious?
to explain everything to
Yeah.
him.
Wow. Okay.
I mean, I've watched the actual show. I just didn't watch the fan
Yeah.
cuts.
Yeah.
That's
Educate me. Talk to me
Fine.
about it.
All right.
Before
me-
you
tell me.
start, overall, how'd you like it? Did you like it better than the original, show?
No,
No.
I like the original show
Okay.
much more.
For Boba Fett?
Yeah,
What about Kenobi?
also the original.
Okay.
There's things that I enjoy in the recuts, but
Yeah.
I don't think it's comparable to the originals because you're cutting scenes that I would consider very important.
Okay.
So
See, that's
That
the,
makes
that's
sense.
the thing with fan cuts, because a lot of times people will just cut the parts they didn't like out of the show,
yeah,
Yeah.
where it's kind of crucial to the original show's
Mhm.
plot line. But if you just didn't like it and you just cut it out, you kind of just
and then you can add a lot more stuff that people call like fan service.
Yeah.
You'll see that in Kenobi a little bit.
Yeah.
Which I'm
We'll get
always
into
for.
it,
I'm like,
but
that's
yeah.
cool. But yeah, we'll get to that.
Yeah.
Anyway, Book of Boba Fett Part 1 Without a Tribe starts off with actually a Return of the Jedi recap of the Sarlacc pit battle, which I was like, oh, this is actually really cool.
I like that they added his music.
Yeah,
the whole time.
Immediately, it starts
I
in the
feel
sand.
like
And
the one thing, the one thing that I didn't like about both of them was the music was kind of loud.
it was loud.
It was very loud and kind of distracting. That would be the one thing, like the one critique that I was like the whole time. I was like,
Yeah.
this is really loud.
Like, you want the music? Here you go.
And then like I was like trying to watch it.
We get the songs at absolute banger, but just tone it down a little bit.
Yeah,
It was
and
played
then-
like 3 times over in the first 20 minutes.
yeah, and then it was like the actual talking was so quiet, like it was kind of hard to hear.
Yeah.
But yeah,
But yeah, so the Sarlacc pit battle happens with the Boba Fett theme over it, and so you see a little bit of the battle. I see Boba Fett flying out to the skiff, fighting with Luke, and it also cuts to at the same time instead of in the movie where Leia chokes Jabba. Afterwards, it's happening at the same time while Fett is fighting. So you kind of see that it's all chaos going on right there as the battle goes on. And then, of course, Boba falls in the Sarlacc, and then you get the title card, Book of Boba Fett, Part 1. And I was like, oh, okay, that was cool. I kind of like that little theme setter of, for anyone that needs the refresher from Return of the Jedi, I don't have a problem with that. I thought it was neat seeing it.
and that was like the only time you really see him do anything.
Agree to disagree, but anyway.
And then gets thrown in there.
So right after that,
sorry, Boba Fett fans.
right after that, what happens? Oh, it starts off with the, him climbing out of the Sarlacc, and then having the Tuskens capture him. And
No, the Jawas come and
Jawas
strip
oh
him.
yeah, the
stuff.
Jawas take his armor,
Yeah.
and then the Tuskens take him.
Yeah.
So basic intro stuff. But right after that, it's pretty interesting because it jumps to Cobb Vanth's flashback story from The
Yeah.
Mandalorian, where it's supposed to have the voiceover where Cobb is like, "Oh, we were in Mos Espa when the Death Star blew up and the miners came and killed
Yeah.
everyone."
Oh yeah, it goes to the Death Star
Yeah.
blowing
Oh yeah,
up.
it shows a shot of the original Death Star being blown up.
Yeah.
And then it fades to the screen that everyone's watching in the bar. And then, the scene where the miners come in, shoot everyone. Cobb runs away. He grabs the Camtono. You don't get any context for, like, what's going on. So if you were watching it for the first time, which I would not suggest to do,
Yeah.
you're kind of like, grabbed a random box, and then he's trading it for Boba Fett armor with the Jawas. But I thought it was cool because seeing Cobb Vanth's story come in already, you're like, oh, okay, so you see Boba lose his armor, and then immediately you see where that
Where it
armor
goes,
is.
yeah.
Just like
'Cause
an
it-
order
I mean,
of operations of like
and-
how it all happened.
I thought it was cool that they put that in there because it just shows like his armor, the armor's journey as well as Boba Fett the person. Because
Which-
they're
Yeah.
interchangeable, or they're one basically. You
Yeah.
know, so I think that was cool that they showed both journeys of that.
And then right after that, after you have Cobb Vanth's story, you also get right into Mando's intro as well, except they start with him on Navarro fighting with Grief Karga. The part where, like, he takes the child at first in season 1.
I did think that was a little weird
That
to
part,
put that in there. Like I
yeah.
didn't know what the purpose of that was. But
Just,
if you have an idea, let me know. Because
I
I was watching
don't
it
know.
and I was like, why is this in here? This is kind of weird. So I don't know.
It's just a kicking off point for him, I
Yeah.
guess. But yeah, it doesn't make much sense because it's from season 1,
Yeah.
so it's pretty far back.
Yeah.
So that's, for me, the beginning of it was a little choppy in
Yeah. We were talking about
the
that.
setting direction. I was like, oh, kind of getting messy at first, but I think as it goes on,
It gets a little better.
yeah,
Yeah.
it just kind of needed to set its feet somewhere
Mm-hmm.
to start. But I didn't hate it.
Yeah.
Fine. Yeah. So once those characters are laid out, then it goes right back to Boba Fett with the Tuskens. There's a lot of points that are missed there. Like, you don't see his initial escape attempt where he tries to run away with
Yeah.
the Rodian, but then he gets caught by the Tuskens again and has
But
that
when he-
little fight.
When he
with the,
fights that thing and he's like standing up. What is that thing called?
Oh, not that part. The earlier part. at night when he's escaping.
Oh, when he's like
No, but
like,
the
cows on
creature,
him.
Yeah.
the creature that looks like it's from Mortal Kombat. That's what I always think of.
Oh,
He looks like the boss in Mortal Kombat.
No,
But when he
first
like
time-
when he stands up on it,
Yeah.
oh, I got chills
That was
right
that was
now.
a good part.
Ooh.
that
sweet.
that monster, I think they use like the clay animation for it, right?
I think they did some stop motion.
Stop
with
motion.
that,
That's yeah. That
Which
was
is rad.
I
I
like
love when
that.
they bring back stop motion.
Right?
So good.
Love it. What else happened after? Oh, but with the Tuskens, points missed. So yeah, some of the points were missed. Like the first escape attempt, a few of the little
Yeah.
scenes where Boba is going out with the Rodian and the little Tusken kid.
Yeah. I think they did miss like that connection with the little kid that kind of like
Yeah.
connects him to the rest of the tribe,
Mhm.
which I really liked in the show.
I did like that. That was his
Yeah.
first little gateway into like the
Yeah.
Tuskens was gaining the trust of the child. But they immediately skipped to his fight with the big old
Mm-hmm.
Mortal Kombat monster.
Yeah.
finish him.
Which was a cool scene to watch again.
Yeah.
And then come back and then he's a pretty good guy after all,
Yeah.
I guess.
Yeah.
Uh,
I like when the Tusken like just the chief, whatever her name is, just like comes up and just like, oh no, I'm not gonna again. But when she's just like, here, like it's so funny. Like everybody's congratulating the kid, and like she's like, yeah, I know you killed this thing. There's no way this kid
yeah.
killed that thing.
Oh
you
no,
know?
no, he was the kid was showing the Tuskens that how Boba killed it.
I don't know, because whenever I watch it, it seems like he's like, I did it. Look. I mean, you can't tell because like
I think the kid's
Can't
just
tell what they're
excited
saying.
because it was like, I think it was said in the behind the scenes gallery of Boba Fett, like
Mhm.
the kid came up and is showing everybody what Boba did because this is a creature that the Tuskens feared and no one could apparently kill, and so he was like amazed that Boba was able to do it and showing them like, oh, he like jumped on the back, he like choked it, and
oh, okay,
so
that
Yeah.
makes more sense. Just without that context, though, it looks like
yeah.
he's the one saying that he killed it because you can't tell what
Right.
they're
It
saying.
doesn't,
You know?
it doesn't. If I remember correctly, it doesn't have the. They don't have little translation lines, do they?
No.
Mhm. I wish they did because I want to know what they're saying.
Yeah, that's in the director's cut.
Yeah.
We actually translated everything for you.
Did we?
I mean, not me, but
Oh, you're
the
saying. Oh, you're
director's
saying
cut.
like them. Yeah.
You guys ever seen
I was trying
the bad lip reading? It used to be like
Yes.
really famous. That would be funny.
Oh my god, yeah.
To do bad lip reading with the Tusken Raiders. Because you have no idea what they're saying. Like, I think that'd be super funny if they did that.
He's actually given a recipe how to make a good salad.
I love those. Those are so funny. So then they do that, and what I did like about that was that it wasn't. I mean, I did like the flashbacks in the actual show because it's like kind of hard to do that. But I like
Yeah.
that was like a continuous story instead of flashbacks.
Mm-hmm.
I did really like that.
I did enjoy seeing it that way
Yeah.
a lot, especially when we get to part 2. I like seeing all of the modern Boba on Tatooine with just a whole cohesive story where it's not
Yeah.
broken up.
Not broken up.
That I enjoy.
Yeah, I really like that.
So part 1 is just mostly flashbacks, and then part 2 is just like the cohesive.
Yeah. So part 1 is
Okay.
the whole Tusken flashback, pretty much,
Yeah.
with some of Mando season 2 mixed
Mhm.
in there. Which as he sets off on his own afterwards, they show a few more parts of Boba fighting like the speed bike gang, the whole train scene, and then he sets off on his own to talk to the Pikes, and then comes back and obviously finds that the Tuskens are all dead.
Yeah.
I watched that again. I was like, oh man, this is still not okay.
So sad, dude.
Yeah.
They Star Wars has really given us like Tuskens in a new light, which I really like. Like in Mando, and then this Boba Fett,
Yeah.
and I just love them now. Like you never like not that I hated them before, but like you just like yeah,
It's as a whole like new dimension to them.
yeah,
And it's like even to like just like watching Book of Boba Fett, and like you see him just like getting to really connect with the Tusken Raiders, and then you get that feeling like something's gonna happen.
yeah.
Like I don't want anything bad to happen to
Which
them.
when I first watched it, I thought that they were gonna be part of like come help them, and then they die. And I
In
was
the
like,
end,
oh,
yeah.
God.
When they're like rallying, he's like we need like forces. And I was like, oh, like they're gonna come storming in. Like
Yeah.
it's gonna be this whole cool thing.
And then flashback, they're all dead.
oh no.
Not okay,
Slaughtered
man.
them like
Not okay.
animals. The women and the children too.
Oh no.
He walks in the tribe and Anakin's just standing there. He's like,
I can explain.
It's like his Force Ghost, like having like a flashback, like Vietnam flashback. Just-
Oh no.
anyway.
Where were we? Oh yes, in the pit of despair.
The pit of despair. Yes, the pit of despair.
It was sad, man. It was sad watching that.
It really
again.
is. It was really sad watching them die.
That's such an important part to see, especially with Boba Fett. So
Yeah.
originally, for years after the original trilogy came out, you just have Boba Fett as more of a one-sided character, where just a bounty hunter with super awesome armor. You don't know a lot about him from just the movies, so you never expect this side character to
Yeah.
have more depth than anything.
Yeah.
I think one of the best things they did was take the man out of the armor, and you get to know him as a person.
Yeah.
That's what I liked about it.
That was an important part, seeing what kind of person he became without it at first. When he crawls out, doesn't have it, gets beaten down by the Tuskens, and he kind of learns to rise above, his literal pit of despair that he was in.
Yeah. And he even says that he needs like people around him. I think I
Yeah.
can't remember exactly what he says to Fennec, but like he like comes to the realization that
Yeah.
like, it's
of working for idiots that are gonna get me killed.
like that one, yeah. And then creates a whole crew.
Yeah.
So
Because what happens when you fall on the Sarlacc and you come out and there's nobody that cares about you, nobody that's going to help you, you literally are beaten down by Jawas, your armor is taken from you,
yeah.
and you have nothing. And you realize, like, I have nobody that is going to help me out here.
Mm-hmm.
Started at rock bottom.
Sarlacc bottom.
Yeah, that works. too.
What's more lower than rock bottom? Sarlacc bottom.
Yep, that's even lower. I think in lore it's like a mile down or something.
Yeah, I was wondering
They're
that too. He said that he was there for years.
No. He said years ago. I know what line you're talking about.
That's what I was
the
so confused
Sarlacc
about.
pit, where I was trapped all those years ago.
Mm.
But I don't think he meant that he was there for years.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, because I always took it as
Yeah, I thought he was like trapped there for years, and I was like,
you came out looking just fine.
I know.
Yeah,
like, you did
exactly.
much better than anyone else.
Does time move
Yeah.
differently inside of a Sarlacc pit that we
Yeah.
just don't know?
then there's that stormtrooper that's just like,
He's just chilling. Yep.
so. Yeah, I like that they started tying in the Mando and Boba.
Yeah. And then
They
at that
go-
point, you see Fennec start.
Yeah.
You will have to watch the episode with that punk kid from Mandalorian.
Oh god.
I didn't hate him. I don't know why everybody hates him.
I just
so
watched
much.
him again. I was like, oh yeah, this guy.
Yeah,
He's just different,
he was all right.
which is fine.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's in Star Wars. We're not. So I mean,
Yeah, that's fair.
good for him.
So you see that little episode, pretty much just like a short version of it. Where
Yeah.
They get to the part with Fennec, and then you see it cut over in the Book of Boba Fett, where you see the flares shooting off in the
Mhm.
distance, and it's lined up with the episode. I thought that's really fun to see, is when you see the
Yeah.
different perspectives line up. And
Yeah,
you're like, oh, cool.
I liked it because like when it came out, obviously they were hiding the fact that they were making the
Yeah.
Boba Fett show. So now that it's out, I like the fact that they tied it in.
They did not hide it well.
Well, I mean, you know what I mean. Like,
Well, and like in like Mandalorian season 1, it's season 1, right, where he like
Yeah.
he finds Fennec. And so when that episode came out, and it's like the boots walking with like the kind of like the
It's
spur
the
sounds,
spurs.
and everyone was just in a whole like panic, like, oh my god, Boba Fett's coming back, and
That's what I
I loved it.
Yep.
That was
Yeah.
just fun.
People were like, there's no Boba Fett.
yeah,
It's only clinking sound. I'm like, you're not a Star Wars fan then if you don't realize that.
They're like, oh, Spurs. They're like two people.
Even-
They're like Boba Fett, or it might be Cad Bane.
There was so many references in that episode to Boba. Like,
yeah.
Mando even says the line, she's like, she's no good to us dead, as he
Mhm.
walks away. I was like, they're setting something up here.
Yeah.
Smell it.
But I like the fact that they combined those.
Yeah.
I thought that was really cool.
It was fun to see that all done again. It's funny
Yeah.
because that episode, they didn't have Boba's costume, so they just used Mando's like leg armor. So you can
Oh.
literally see, if you turn up the brightness on that, you'll see like his boots and everything. You're like, oh, that's just Mando.
That's weird though, because he doesn't even have his armor yet.
Yeah. I don't know. That's what they used.
Whatever.
They're like,
Fun fact.
just use that because we don't know how he's gonna look yet.
Yeah. Cool.
He will
But
look.
anyway,
And
then
then-
he gets Fennec, and the whole scene where he. This is actually your first introduction to the mods,
Yeah.
because he takes her to the
Mm-hmm.
like a tattoo parlor.
Yeah,
for
but
mods.
for mods, yeah.
Yeah.
The mod shop.
And then I like when they gun down the biker gang. I don't know why.
It's just a
It's
fun
just like
scene.
it's just so like
That was Boba just being Boba. He's
Yeah.
like, I'm gonna go.
and
kill
he's like and he
somebody."
like looks at Fennec and she's just like, whatever. I'm here for it, I guess.
She's like,
You saved my life,
you got
so
things to
I'm here.
take care of. Just you do you right
Yeah.
now. This is your moment. I'll let you have it.
Yeah.
She's just along for the ride.
Yeah.
Literally.
Mm-hmm. So after that, you get that kind of intro with Fennec and Boba, and they go and get Slave One back, kill all the Speedback gang, and then go Sarlacc diving.
Yeah.
For some
Which-
Beskar.
Still is so funny. I love how Lando's the strongest man in the universe.
I've
'cause-
seen that too. It's like Lando's
Yeah.
grabbed on by the tentacle, and he's just like hanging on.
Yeah, and then the thing's pulling on a whole ship. I just think that's so funny.
Maybe the Sarlacc just works out in its free time. It probably
Yeah.
sits there for like years, doesn't eat a thing, and it's just like, I'm gonna work out,
It's
Work
just
out
doing
the tentacles.
curls.
Like
You just see the tentacles out, just.
It's got a dead stormtrooper in one hand and a weak weight in the other. It's like, yeah.
Uh,
a lot
somehow it gets one of the
falling over.
Jawas like trucks to come over and it's just like
Yeah.
bench pressing it. Just
It has like the remains of like Java's sail barge, and it's just like lifting those like pieces.
I need to see the part where Max Rebo escapes and like
Mm.
flies away from the barge.
yeah.
He fell.
What you got there? Oh,
He fell.
Come on, man. Sorry.
He's just gonna hang out.
Yeah. So then what happens? Because I don't really remember.
you have kind of the important scenes between Fennec and Boba where they're kind of talking at first about how Boba wants to start his own family. He wants to build his tribe,
Mm-hmm.
which I think is that's probably one of the most important scenes in the flashbacks is that talk, because then you kind of find a little bit more depth to him and you find his reasoning for stuff. Because, I mean, honestly, anyone who goes through a life-death experience and ends up having nobody to count on, you're going to come out a little changed. Anyone who
Yeah.
says, like, oh, Boba Fett changed too much in the show, it's like, you think people don't change in their lives at some point or
Yeah.
another?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I don't know what you think to where, like, you have an idea of somebody and that has to be them. How many people have you known in your life where they've just done something that you didn't expect?
Like me. I used to think anime was super dumb and cosplaying was for dorks.
And look at you now.
Now I'm on a
Now.
podcast
You were
talking about all of that.
You were a Marine. And
Yeah.
now you're here sitting in a
Now I'm here sitting
pretty
around
nerdy.
bunch of nerdy stuff. People change. Here's what it is.
Yep.
So
And I think we can be okay with that.
Yeah.
And I mean, you're not going to judge people in real life. Well, you shouldn't judge people in real life for, going through some changes sometimes. But
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like the fact that he changed and has a new perspective.
Yeah.
He got basically left for dead. I mean,
Yeah.
well, they probably thought he was dead anyways because
Yeah.
he was in the pit, but left for dead. Nobody cares. He's just a bounty hunter. So now he's like, let's do something good. And I like when he doesn't want spice coming through Tatooine and
Yeah.
all that kind of stuff. I know that's in the
'Cause, I
future of
mean,
what we're talking about, but
From his perspective, his whole life, he's seen the consequences of those kind of things. I mean, that was his whole line of work, was working for scummy people and
Mhm.
killing. And at some point you're going to see oh, this doesn't really lead to any good.
yeah.
So I think changing a little bit and kind of trying to, as Cad Bane says, they shooting straight or something. Tried to go straight.
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
Gave it a
that was-
shot.
I'm so glad they brought back Cad Bane.
I can't. Yeah, we'll get to.
I
Bane.
know.
See, you're mad.
I freaking love him.
Bane was awesome.
Yeah. He's like one of my favorite. My only quarrel is I wish his hat was bigger.
That's fine.
That's the only thing. I just wish his hat was bigger.
It
I
was.
just-
It was
love
very
his
Western.
job.
How intimidating, how terrifying he was.
Dude, he was so scary.
Like just
people
watching it and just getting chills. I'm like, oh, I'm
He
scared.
gave me the vibes of a great white shark with that skin tone and the teeth and
Yeah.
the red, and I was like,
Yeah,
He looks
dude.
like a shark.
People like didn't
Yeah.
like it, you know, like that's their business. But I saw it and I was like, that is terrifying.
You know what looked
That's
terrifying?
so terrifying.
When they had his head on display at Celebration.
Oh, yeah, and it was all, like,
the
broken
prosthetics.
apart. Yeah.
That was freaky if anybody saw that.
Yeah.
Wow.
That was pretty cool though.
Mm-hmm. Imagine being in that costume.
I don't know.
You'll probably
Insane.
feel pretty cool, but also very constricted.
Yeah.
Because I feel like that's just like right on your face.
Yeah, because his face is just like flat right here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love the memes where it's like, careful where you're sticking your nose. And there's like a nose like on him. Careful where you're sticking your nose.
It's a wonderful Cad Bane impression.
I feel like it was pretty good.
Yeah.
It was okay. One of my better impressions.
What
Better
is
than Gregor last week.
Oh god.
We caught the big one. We caught the big one.
Just each week, I want you to present a new impression, and just see if you can top it
Yep.
from last week's.
Okay. I feel like my Cad Bane's.
Cad
That
Bane.
was
Cad Bane's
pretty up
solid
there.
so far.
That one's okay. But,
I
but
did
definitely
my,
better
I did my
than Gregor.
Boba Fett already.
Yeah, your Boba Fett was good. What do you got, Jeremy?
Give us your best Rancor impression.
Oh gosh. My first instinct was to meow. I don't know why.
Yep.
That's what I in an awkward situation, just sit there and just stare at someone and just meow quietly and just walk away.
We got the big one! All right, let's move
I'm just
on.
gonna finish up part one of this. So, once he meets up with Fennec, then after the Sarlacc, he's hunting for his armor. So then it kicks off to Mando season 2, first episode where Din finally meets up with Cobb Vanth. So Cobb Vanth was set up in the very beginning of this cut, and now you're finally seeing him again at the end for when Din finally meets up with him. And yeah, it kind of works seeing both of their stories at first throughout the movie. And then seeing it in this episode, and you know what happens in this episode. They go and hunt the crate dragon.
I like that they made it shorter.
Yeah,
Like,
because you watch the beginning, you're like, all right, this is gonna be like an hour of watching this, but
Yeah.
they cut it up.
but like when you're watching the actual show, all you want is more.
You want
Like
more.
you want to see that fight for like 30 minutes because it's like that's what's coming out at the time. But now like rewatching it, I'm like, yeah, you can cut all that out.
Yeah.
Just blow them up.
That's basically what they do. And
Yeah.
then you get that shot of Mando driving away on his speeder, and then Boba watching him.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, that gave me chills again seeing that part. I just remember the feeling of how excited I got when I saw,
Yeah.
you see the stock of the rifle and the gaffy stick on his back, and then you see the head, and I was like,
Yeah.
oh yeah,
So good.
I was fanboying so hard at 12 a.m.
Yeah.
I was like, it's Boba Fett! Yep, that was me.
Oh,
Woke up
man.
the whole apartment complex.
Yeah.
That's the best. Just like watching these episodes when they drop at midnight, and everyone around you is asleep. And so when cool stuff like that happens, you're like, play it cool, play it cool. But
Yeah.
You're just like, I need to scream,
Yep.
especially in an instance like that for you, where it's like it's Boba Fett, like you're a guy. You're like, I can't really scream, but
He was even more in the Tython episode. As soon as you see Slave 1 fly down, I was
Yeah.
like,
As soon
ooh.
as you like hear it in the distance, you're like, oh, here it goes,
Dude,
And
I watched Mando season 2, the finale,
so good.
while Sev was asleep right next to me, like in the bed. And so like the whole time I'm just like trying to be quiet because he's
I feel
asleep,
that.
you know?
Yeah.
Like it's like, almost 1 a.m. when Luke comes and I'm just like, oh my God. Be cool.
Yep.
Same thing happened with Miss Marvel when the X-Men theme song came.
Dude, I didn't finish that. Don't spoil that.
Sorry.
oops.
Kidding. You can say what you want.
My bad.
I think I watched until the last episode of that.
Yeah. It happens in the last episode.
Oh yeah, well I didn't watch that.
Oh, he's like, oh, I was looking at your jeans and you have something else. And then it's like the 1990s.
Do you have a thing against the last episodes? You don't just
Yeah.
finish, you don't finish things.
I'm actually kind of
Thrones.
like that too. Like I won't watch like the final season of something because I'm just like, I don't want it to be over. I do that a lot.
That's
I
not
can
my
see that.
reasoning. I just didn't really.
Yeah.
I'm not as much of a Marvel fan, so
Yeah.
I don't feel like I have to finish it. I'm just there for Spider-Man.
Yeah, Spider-Man.
Spider-Man. Anyway, back to Boba Fett.
We could talk about Spider-Man. I'm
We could
fine
talk
with
about
that.
Spider-Man. I love Spider-Man too.
I love Spider-Man. I want them to make a Ben
We'll
Reilly
talk about
Scarlet
Spider-Man
Spider.
eventually.
Yeah. I just want a Scarlet Spider so bad.
Oh, that's the blue hoodie one?
Yeah.
That one is cool.
Ben Reilly. He's got little, like...
You know they're already
Stuff.
releasing toys for the Spider-Verse movie, the new one.
Really?
Yeah. I think one of them's like Spider-Punk's guitar.
Oh, okay.
I was like, okay, so he's gonna be in it.
Yeah.
And
I
yeah.
hope Ben Reilly's in it. That'd be so rad.
I haven't seen anything yet, but
Yeah.
there's a lot happening, I
I'm
guess.
so excited for the second one. It's gonna be so good. Sorry.
Sorry, Book of Boba Fett.
Go on with Boba Fett.
So basically, you know, it comes to the part where Mando gets the armor. You see Boba watching him. And then I think it just jumps to the Tython episode where
Yeah.
Boba meets up with Din. You get a quick version of the whole fight with them and the stormtroopers. And just the feeling of watching that again was amazing.
I love watching Boba go off in that, dude.
As soon as the grenades drop,
Yeah.
you're just like, oh.
I just love him, like, cracking the helmets and then just, like...
Yes.
It's so satisfying.
It's-
It's just like the crumble.
Yeah.
I bought the little Hasbro Boba Fett that comes with the 2 shattered stormtrooper helmets.
Nice.
I love the little detail that they're just like, here's the little shattered helmet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that they started shattering helmets, like, in
Mhm.
everything now. I just think it's so cool.
In season 1, the armorer whacks
Yeah.
the stormtrooper helmets.
Yeah.
I love at one part she throws one into the
Yeah.
furnace.
In
That
Rogue
was funny.
One, Jin gets some good whacks too,
Mhm.
and like there's some just like
Yeah.
shatters.
I
very
love
cool.
it. Give me all the shattered helmets. Because it makes sense, like,
Yeah.
especially if they're hitting that hard, like, that's going to break.
It's more fun to watch than lightsabers cutting through them.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think so, too.
So you basically finish out Mando season 2. One thing I wanted to say was when you first see Boba using the gaffy stick, I mean, that's the first time you ever see him doing it because that's his intro in season
Yeah.
2. And even seeing him do that, I think was very different because before he was just he was a walking arsenal of just like projectile weapons.
Yep.
And then to see him actually fighting people with like hand-to-hand combat using the gaffy stick, like there's already so much story behind that because you don't know the Tusken story yet. You just see him with a gaffy stick and
Yeah.
one of their cycler rifles, and you're like, oh, how do you get this? What's the story behind this? How is he fighting like with the staff with so much rage and ferocity, and like he's really good with it.
Yeah.
He's like playing with the stormtroopers.
Yeah.
I always love the scene where there's one that's like hunched over on the ground. You see him just dragging the gaffy stick on the ground, and then the camera follows it up to the helmet and just smacks it. It's like it looked like what would be shot in a horror movie,
Mhm.
like a slasher. Just
But in
seeing
Star
the weapon
Wars.
come up, and
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's like one of my favorite
that was beautiful.
scenes
Mm-hmm.
in Star Wars. Like top 5, I think.
Yeah.
Is Boba Fett just cracking people, and then when he gets his armor and he shoots
Yeah.
the knee
Oh my
darts and
gosh.
like all that, dude. That was sweet.
Everything in that was great.
Yeah, and Boba Fett season 1 too, where him and Mando both are like shooting.
Oh yeah, we'll get to
Ah,
that. We'll get to
yeah.
that. Yeah.
So good.
So that finishes out the first one. It ends with Boba and Fennec taking the throne.
Mm-hmm.
So killing Bib Fortuna, and that's on top, just like the end of season 2, where
Yeah.
you get that fun, super thematic shot where it's just like him chilling there, and
It's,
Fennec
like,
just
kinda
sitting there with the
cheesy.
spatchka.
It's kind of cheesy, but you're
so
also like, that's pretty sick.
great. Yep.
You know.
Yep.
And
You
then
just
it's
walk into a
all the
place, you
art
just sit
too.
down,
Like
and you're
I think we
like,
have
"All
it up there, right?
the way he like the way he just sits, like he's just like, oh yeah,
Yeah,
Yep.
just like I'm the king. Like I love that.
Yeah.
It's so rad. I don't care how cheesy it is. Give it to me.
It was so good.
Yeah.
But yeah, overall thoughts on like the recut done by Kai Patterson for part 1. As it progressed, I started to like seeing the stories intertwine and watching, Din from the beginning, Cobb Vanth from the beginning, and then seeing it all finally line up at the end, and you get to watch season 2. It was good. There's a lot of missed parts that I thought were important, at least from my point of view, parts that I was sad to have missed. Because you lose a lot of that depth with the Tusken Raiders, where it's just there's some of the small moments
Mm-hmm.
where you kind of see Boba learning from them. You see them kind of learning from him. And
Yeah.
some of that's missed. So overall, it's fun. I would not recommend it to someone who hasn't watched Book of Boba Fett. because I think there's too much left out to where you'd be a little confused.
Yeah, you don't get that connection
Yeah.
as much, like where he comes from to be in Book of Boba Fett. Like I feel like that sets it up really well,
Yeah.
like why he's trying to change Tatooine and get all his people. You know, he's trying to build his tribe back, and I think that does get missed, like you said.
Yeah.
So yeah,
So not having watched the recut, Jeremy, would you watch it?
Jeremy.
I would like to watch it at least just once. I mean, I like having seen just the show itself.
Yeah.
I very much enjoyed the story. I loved all the little like bits in it. And from what it sounds like to me, it's just like a more structured order of how things happen within the whole like Mandalorian, like first, second season, and then into Book of Boba Fett. I would like to see just kind of like that order of operations, like I said earlier.
Yeah.
But other than that, like I mean, the show itself, I loved it. I had no issues with it. Yeah, I'm excited to watch it.
It's fun. It's a new experience to go through it. And I think if you want to rewatch the show, but kind of get something a little different about it, going through it again, I think it's a good way of.
That's exactly what I was
seeing
just
it
gonna
that
say.
way.
It was
Yeah.
like if you ever have that feeling like you just want to rewatch the series for whatever reason, I would watch this.
Yeah.
Just because it's different.
Yeah.
Like it's the structure's a little different, and then it's just cool, kind of seeing all the stuff connect. So
Yeah, and like I'm a big fan of like the smaller moments, and so you said they cut out a lot of the smaller moments in it.
Yeah.
So I'm curious to see like how it translates then without those little small moments. For me personally,
yeah. But if you've watched it before, you know the small moments already, so you kind of like
Yeah. That's why I
you're
suggest
okay
not
with it.
starting
Yeah,
with
exactly.
because you're gonna miss those things.
Yeah.
I did miss getting to hear the Boba Fett theme at the end of every episode.
yeah. Do you get to points where like it like you know where the episode ends?
Yeah.
You're like,
and like,
oh okay, it's not there. That little
You're
like
like, oh.
that beat and then the drop.
yep,
Yeah. It's a good theme.
skips right over.
It's such a
do love
good
it.
theme song.
All of their themes recently are just so
So good.
solid.
I want to know what Andor's is gonna be.
There was a theme in the trailer.
Was there?
I think so. It was actually really cool sounding.
Andor. Just the same thing as Boba. Just
Cassian
Cass-
Andor, maybe K2SO.
in the future,
Some clone troopers and stormtroopers.
they are fighting the rebellion.
Flash forward to Jin just in a prison cell, waiting for everyone to get
Yep.
better.
Like. Anyway, that's part one.
Part 1.
Part one.
Part 1.
You want to do part two now?
I
And then
mean,
Kenobi, or
Is it? You said part 2 is kind of just like the
It's
next
short.
season.
part two was
right?
good. I like part two. Part two.
Okay, part 2.
I got notes for part two.
I'm excited to talk about Kenobi.
If you want to skip to the Kenobi part, you can get out of here.
Oh, we're not done with Book of Boba Fett? I thought we were done with Book of Boba Fett. Oh,
No,
wow.
that's just
That's
part 1.
man.
Oh boy.
But I feel like in
I like
part
part
2,
two.
is there really much to like add to it? Because I didn't see it yet.
Part
so.
2 was done by a different person. So
Yeah.
Pentex Productions does part 2. And you can kind of see the different styles coming through there in terms of recuts. I like how Pentex Productions did their cut. There's a lot that's in there. But I think he does a good job of still getting a lot of the points across, having the story flow really well. This part 1, I think, was a little difficult for Kai Patterson because you're starting with Boba's story and then immediately jumping to Mando from a very random spot from his fight on Navarro. And so it was just a rougher start for that
Yeah.
one. But I thought part 2, it like started fine and it kept going and it just kept building up. And I was like, okay.
Well, because you don't have to deal with so many like flashbacks and all that kind of stuff. So
Yeah.
like, I feel like it is a little bit easier on the second half, just because
Yep.
you have to go through so much history that he has
Yeah.
and how all these things connect. Like I didn't see it yet, but that's just what I'm assuming. Just because it's basically just season 1,
Yeah.
Book of Boba Fett.
Part 2 has probably one of my favorite intros.
Uh-huh.
It was really cool if you didn't watch it. But it starts off with Cobb Vanth confronting the Pikes in the desert.
Oh, I love
okay.
that scene.
Yeah, so you get Cobb
I
Vanth's
love
first
that.
little spot, and he
Just
like walks out,
Kicks over Over the
Yeah.
spice. I love that.
He's like, your boy shouldn't be out here. And
Yeah.
like, around here, I'm the one who tells folks what to do.
Dude, I
Cobb
love
Vanth
him.
is so cool. Like that man is too cool for his own good.
Look at him up there. You can see him right there.
There's a giant Cobb Vanth card cutout hanging in the
Should we
back.
just replace me with Cobb Vanth?
Yep.
I mean, we
But
can
no,
always
stay
put
here.
We can always put him right here in
Wow.
the corner.
Rude.
Should have stuck him up. But yeah, it was cool because
Welcome to
you
the Cobb
see
Vanth
right
show.
after what happens when he loses the armor. He's
Mhm.
still like, I'm the sheriff around here. You see these stripes? And
Yep.
You're like, okay, he's still got it.
Yeah.
And he does his cool little quick draw, shoots 2 of the pikes, and then
so
the other
good.
guys left. And like, yeah, I thought that intro for it was great for setting because immediately it sets up the spice trade problem.
Yeah.
So
Did
I
they?
appreciated that a lot.
So in the second cut, did they do anything about? And this was the one thing that I didn't like about
I know
Book of
what you're
Boba
gonna say.
Fett. Yeah, is just like there's no clear bad guy.
Oh,
And
I
don't know what
thought you were
gonna
going to
say.
talk about something else.
Oh, No, I just mean like there's so many different things going on, and I feel like when I was watching it, I was like, who's like the real problem? Is it the Pikes? Is
Right.
it the mayor? Is it? I think there's something else. I
Well,
can't
the
remember.
mayor was under the influence of the Pikes.
Yeah,
Mhm.
but I feel like
So-
the Pikes weren't very like. I don't know. I just feel like it
Yeah.
was a little
I developed my own theory,
off, I guess.
which I wish I kind of didn't have, because it made the payoff at the end like less so. Because I had read the Bounty Hunter comic book where Boba basically loses Han Solo and Carbonite for a little bit. He gets captured by Crimson Dawn,
Mm-hmm.
and then you see Kira reappear, and then you get this whole theme that Crimson Dawn's going to try and make a comeback. And I
Yeah.
was like, oh, that's a really good way to tie into the Book of Boba Fett because he's got some beef with Crimson Dawn, and
Yeah.
obviously they're associated with the Pikes. I think you see that in Clone Wars or something when Maul is talking with them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I think they're
thought-
like one of the heads of
Yeah.
You see like
Crimson
all like the
Dawn.
leaders.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, this will be a really cool setup if they do that. But I mean, you don't really
Yeah.
get anything at the end.
I would have liked Crimson Dawn, but the only problem with that is there's no Maul.
Yeah. Well,
At
that's
this
why
point in
Kira
time.
is the
Yeah.
Yeah.
It would be cool to see her,
leader. Mhm.
but I would love to see Maul in charge of Crimson Dawn.
Yeah.
I want more Maul.
More Maul would have been great.
Yeah. That would have been really rad. But
Anyway.
it is what it is.
yeah.
So they start with Cad Bane in
No, not Cad Bane. Just
not Cad
Cobb
Bane,
Vanth.
Cobb Vanth.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Just that in the desert. Does his little thing with the Pikes, and so right after that you get Boba, sitting on the throne doing the part where, the people come in and talk to him, giving gifts. And
I just thought of
tribute.
like the bathroom because you call it the throne. You never heard that?
Your Fade from Black is just Boba Fett on the throne, like the porcelain throne.
I mean,
it's this
if
theme
you got to
just
sit on a
playing.
throne for a while, then maybe it's just also a
Porque no las dos.
right. I'm sure Jabba couldn't really move the throne that much, so
It's true. Maybe
Oh.
there is a built-in bathroom.
yeah.
Wonder when like Bib Fortuna took over. He's like,
Oh, Bib definitely.
I gotta
yep.
clean
Oh, yeah.
this.
Nah, Bib was just sitting in it, dude.
That's what the throne's made of. That's the material.
Oh
that
my
was
god,
used.
okay, let's move on. That's disgusting.
Anyway, it starts off pretty quick. So you get him going out to meet Garza at the sanctuary. But the cool thing there is immediately once he leaves, or not even before he leaves, it has the introduction to the twins, the twin huts.
Mm.
So you hear like the drums going on. This is from his first time because the first time he goes in, comes out, and then gets attacked by the assassins.
Yeah.
This time it's like, oh, the twins are already here. He does that whole meeting with them, and you meet Stanton right off the bat. And then after that scene, the assassins come. You're like, oh, okay, everything's happening like right there, so you don't have all those trips back and forth.
Yeah.
You never see the mayor for a while. So the mayor isn't like a scene villain. He's just kind of talked about
Yeah.
by the what's his name?
The
Twi'lek?
His like ward
Orange
or
Twi'lek?
whatever you call it.
Yeah, wow, you really forget everything in the stairs.
You really do.
I'm like,
When you sit in the
what's his
chair,
name?
you're like
Major Domo.
blank.
Major Domo.
Yeah. Major Domo.
I express the mayor's heartfelt welcome.
That was good.
I love the way he talks.
Yeah.
He's so funny.
Yeah.
Every time I see him come on the screen, I was like, this guy. Love that guy. It's pretty
I
funny.
just
Who
all I
let him
think about is
talk?
Heartfelt
memes
welcome.
of when they're doing the chase through Tatooine. And it's like the butt.
Oh no.
It's like the back of his head is just like a butt.
It's pretty funny.
Memes ruin a lot of things for me.
I know. I do that.
I can't like unsee it, you know.
Yeah. So immediately it kind of comes off fast paced with, meeting the Hutts, meeting the assassins already, dealing with that. And then, once he goes back to pod, it doesn't go to a flashback. Instead, it cuts to Mando's intro, where he's boarding the ship to go to Tatooine.
Oh, I like that.
And what's really cool is while he's on the ship, it has the flashback for Mando of him meeting the armorer and Paz Vizsla again,
Mm-hmm.
and having the armorer make the mithril,
Mm-hmm.
the Beskar mithril. Like, there's no way around it. It's literally mithril from Lord of the Rings.
Yeah. So you said, I was like, yeah,
Yeah.
that's exactly
Yep.
what it is.
So it was kind of cool because he's holding that on the ship, and then you get the flashback of her making it. And
Yeah.
then it cuts back, and it's like, oh, okay, so that's why he has that little bag. Boba Fett going to meet the mods because that one guy comes, he's like, oh, they're stealing all my water. You gotta do something about it. No one respects you. I wanted to punch that guy in the face on Boba's behalf when he says that. Should I kill him?
Do they do the assassin part?
Yeah, that was
Okay.
right after the twins.
Okay,
leave,
yeah, that's what you're
and then
saying.
he gets attacked by the assassin.
Yeah. Okay.
But they don't do the whole like capture him and that whole part where he goes to see the mayor about it.
Mm-hmm.
Like they just skip that entirely.
Okay.
Which I was like, all right, whatever, that's fine.
Cool.
But he's back and he recruits the mods. The mods are toned down in this cut, as in all of their like action sequences non-existent, which I was okay with. They're the most outstanding. What's the right way
That's
to
very
put
nice.
this? They just didn't fit as much. I'm gonna leave it at that.
Honestly, I didn't mind them. It was their speeders that I didn't like.
It was the speeders, yeah.
like
I thought-
honestly,
yeah.
if it was on Coruscant,
Oh,
totally fine.
that's the one thing they actually did in this cut. I think they toned down the colors on the speeders.
Oh, really?
I think they did that,
Okay.
and I was like, oh, because you don't notice them in this version.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like there's the chase scene, but the chase scene is like starts and ends,
Okay.
and it was like done.
That was like the one thing.
Yeah.
Like I was just like, I don't like those bikes. Like they'd be sick if they were on Tatooine. I mean, on Coruscant. Like
Mhm.
them going to the clubs and like doing all that. And I get it
Yeah.
because they're like mods. They're like very like extra, I guess you'd say.
We can't
Yeah.
buy any water, but we'll buy flashy bikes.
Yeah. So I just wish that it was a little more Tatooine bike type of feel, but whatever.
Like,
I'm
now
not in
it's
charge,
more,
so
like, traditional
Is what
speeder
it
bike
is.
looking, I guess.
They're
Yeah.
trying to be much more expressive.
yeah.
They're mods. They're
Yeah.
doing all that stuff.
But I did like the mods. I thought
We're
that
young,
was really
we're
cool.
rebellious.
Yeah.
We look flashy. Our bikes are gonna look flashy.
I love the spin. I stand by that.
This is a spin.
I'm pro
friendly
spin.
channel.
That spin was funny. He actually does dodge a bullet by doing that spin too.
Does he? Or did
see
they
it.
add that in?
No.
No,
You see it
you see
in the show.
Really?
Like he does the
Yeah.
spin and a bullet goes wing. Hits the wall behind him. I was like, all right. I
I'm,
mean, I didn't even need that justification.
I am very neutral about the spin.
Yeah.
I also, it's funny because after that whole thing, I started watching and it was like, I just see spins everywhere now. Like
Yeah.
there's
Din Djarin does a spin.
Fennec does a spin too. For that one's
Yeah.
for no reason. Like at least he has like chrysanthemum on him, so he's like kind of like gets him off. Like when they're getting Boba Fett's ship, she like does a spin like randomly. I don't know.
She just
I was
looks
kind of watching
cool
it like
doing
distractingly. Like I didn't really think about it, and then I was like, oh, she just spun. It's like no reason.
I'm gonna try
But
spinning. That's a good
Is what
trick.
it is. I don't really care. I'd spin too. Why not?
Spinning.
That's what it
Flare.
is.
It looks
Fennec
cool.
just looks good doing anything. So
Yeah,
yeah.
that's true. She's pretty sick. Spinning's cool.
Spinning is cool.
Deal with it.
What else happens? Boba meets the mods. Oh, one little side thing. I was like, I kind of wish we saw Tatooine in the nighttime a little more. You only see it when he goes and like meets the mods. And in
Yeah.
Battlefront 2, when you play Tatooine at night,
Mm-hmm.
that's like my favorite way to play it. It's so cool.
Never really thought about that.
It looks really good. You don't see enough of nighttime Tatooine.
Yeah.
We
Do you think
in
we see-
Kenobi.
Do you think we see too much Tatooine?
I mean, it makes sense story wise, but
'Cause,
if
like, a
in-
lot of things
But like
come
for
from
season
there.
2,
I meant like in all of Star Wars.
oh, nah, I don't care.
I don't really either. I just know that's one of the
I'm
complaints.
like whatever. Planet
Yeah, I want to
Stuff
see more
happens.
Kashyyyk.
Cheek would be.
I would
awesome.
love to see Kashyyyk. I just love the forest and I love nature, so it'd just be cool to see that instead of just a desert. Because I hate the desert. It's too hot.
I hate
I
sand.
lived in a desert
It
forever.
gets everywhere.
What else happens? Oh, and then it goes over to Mando getting the N1,
Ugh,
which
that thing is so sick.
so much more of an appreciation for after seeing the full scale thing in person.
The most gorgeous
That was-
thing I've ever seen.
Dude, I could watch that scene of him putting it together over and over again, especially with BD1.
Yep. BD7, I think.
Oh, whatever.
He's yeah.
He's whatever.
If
Cute-
you watch
cutest
that-
droid ever.
A BD droid.
That's
Yeah.
like my comfort episode. I just will constantly just
Yeah.
rewatch that episode because I love it so
Dude,
much.
I made a TikTok and I thought it was gonna go so well, and it was BD1. It was like, "Go little rock star," when he's like, when he's like doing the little dance, and it didn't go anywhere. But I
Those
thought
of
it
you
was really
watching-
funny.
Go watch and like Blake's BD1
Nah,
video.
no, I don't really care. But I was like, oh, this is gonna go viral because this is cute and funny.
Yeah.
Man, it didn't go anywhere. Story of my life.
Okay, so side note, then gets the N1, coolest ship ever, and then you get, I think Boba he must have been in the bacta tank or something, and you just get the little Camino flashbacks. That's the only kind of flashbacks you get.
Okay,
in
when he
this part.
watches Django fly away.
Yep, which still that just kind of hits.
It really does.
Sadly,
Dude.
I'm like, oh man. Oh, what else was cool?
I do love that.
Wow, never mind, I forgot.
Good talk.
Anyway, yeah, just
Proud
move
of
on
you.
from that. Chris Anton attacks him. You know, they have that whole little fight scene.
Mm-hmm.
And then he gets the Rancor the next day from the twins. The twins are like, hey, this place is bad for business. We're going to dip out. But take the Rancor, take Chris Anton. And then immediately, instead of Boba saying, oh, you're free to go, he says, you look like you could use a job. So it just kicks that off where it's like, oh, he just immediately hired Chris Anton.
Yeah.
So you don't see that scene where he like rips the Trandoshan's arms off.
Oh.
Like you only see Garsa's Sanctuary twice. The first is when he first goes there, and then the next is the bombing.
Okay.
It was really sad because I enjoyed Garsa and that whole
Yeah.
scene. I was like, I really like these people. They're
Yeah.
fun to watch.
The droid, you forgot your camp tunnel.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. I was kind of bummed that they all died.
I wish Garsa didn't die at least.
But did Max Rebo get out alive?
He wasn't there.
That's true. You don't
He's
see
fine.
him.
Yeah. If he can survive a sail barge explosion,
Yeah, he's
like-
good.
Yeah,
He's indestructible.
Yeah. I love it. You just see him.
the book of Max Rebo.
Max
Rebo.
Rebo.
Max.
So then after that, they immediately go to, they try to see the mayor,
Mm-hmm.
but he's not there. So they have that little speeder chase with the Major Domo. And yeah, they cut up the whole speed chase. So you don't have to watch the cheesy,
Really
speed bike chase.
slow speed bike chase.
Yep. I mean, it was practical, which I liked.
Yeah.
But because of that, I mean, you have those speeders on like tracks pretty much.
Yeah.
So you don't want to move too fast because you might not have that much space to do it. So
Yeah.
I
Is
guess
what it is. I
yeah.
mean,
fine. I appreciate the use of practical when they can.
I love that, and that's what I feel like Star Wars has always done.
Mm-hmm.
They try to always incorporate practical and like stop motion and stuff like that where they can and they can get away with it. I just love that because it's like a lost art form, you know.
But even too, like with how, like especially with however cool like the volume is when they film in it, like that's absolutely insane technology. But also like I think Andor is gonna be using nothing. It's all practical sets. There's no they use the
Really?
volume metal in Andor.
I think Andor is going to be really well done.
Yeah.
Like, I think, because, you know, you're watching all these Disney Plus shows and all of them, like, I feel like are kind of lacking with like CGI and like kind of stuff like that, you know? And I think that Andor, they're really going to put money into, because like Mando, they put a lot of money into. You can like just tell with all the special effects and stuff. And I'm really excited to see Andor because I feel like they're really trying to push it because they already have like 4 seasons greenlit. So I think they're going to be putting a lot into it. And I think it's going to be like aesthetically just...
I think that's what Star Wars is a lot, is that cutting edge like movie making technology where they find creative ways. Like after watching the ILM
so good.
series on Disney Plus, like
So good.
that's really fun to watch them start. Yeah.
It was crazy, dude. They like were just trying to figure stuff out for like 6 months, and George Lucas was so pissed. But hey,
Yeah.
look at him now.
Look what we've got. Look
Yeah.
what we've got today. We're
Yeah.
talking about the Book of Boba Fett and Kenobi. Like,
Yeah.
this is all products of their work.
Yep.
This is like stuff that we've dreamed of for like years. We're like, we're never gonna get this stuff, and then
Yeah.
now that we actually have it, we're like, oh wow,
Right?
Yep.
For me, I thought my whole life, like, I'm never going to see Boba Fett on anything else. And now I'm sitting here talking about the Book of Boba Fett.
Yep. It's pretty rad.
It is.
I'm glad that it's continued.
Yeah. So,
Go back in time and show this to your past self, like
Right.
younger Westin, and be like, hey,
oh, I freaked out. Also been like, what the heck am I doing on a screen?
Yeah. Yeah.
So after that, what happened? Speed bike chase. Oh, and for a while I was like, oh, I'm so happy they cut out all of that annoying stuff with Luke and Grogu. Like, okay, I loved that they had that, but I was very annoyed that Boba Fett was cut out of 2 episodes of his own show. So I'm very salty about those episodes.
We know
So
you
I
are.
won't watch them. But I was like, oh, yay, it's not in here. And then I was like, they just put it back in.
Yeah. But it is like, I feel like as much as everybody wanted a Boba Fett show, it's more of a continuation of Mando's
It is.
story than
That's
anything else.
why-
So it makes sense. But like for the hardcore Boba fans, like it is kind of a cop out almost. But
I think it's done well in the recuts because the story is set from the beginning. That like, okay, this is Mando and Boba intertwining.
yes.
As long as Cobb Vanth, and so it makes more sense when you get to the part where like Mando's story takes him to Luke,
Mhm.
rather than 4 episodes of Boba Fett and then a big old finger to your face like he's not here. Check back next week.
Yeah.
You check in next week. He's still not here. It's like trying to see the mayor on Mos Espa.
we are all Boba Fett, and Boba Fett is the mayor. We can't see him.
Yep.
Who said it? I think Michael said it, where it was like, right now the major thing in Star Wars is like Mando and like Grogu,
Yeah.
and like it's like the Book of Boba Fett is just like a chapter in Mando's life.
Mm-hmm.
So we're seeing this little like tidbit of like Boba Fett and everything, and then how he kind of intertwines with Mando's life.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Luke and Grogu thing, as much Grogu, did I say Grogu right? Yeah. As much as I loved all that, like seeing all of that, it was kind of like, why is this here?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
And especially 2 episodes without seeing Boba, like
You
yeah,
see him in the second
you see him in the
but-
second one, but not very much. Like
Yeah.
it's basically
the last like 2 minutes of the episode, you see him.
yeah. So I feel like that is kind of cheap a little bit for
Yeah.
the Boba Fett fans.
For
But
me, I just thought if they advertised it in a way where you were expecting that would have been okay. But
yeah.
it was never.
Well, that's what Michael was saying was like if it was like the Mandalorian Book of Boba Fett Chapter 1 or something
Yeah.
like that,
Yeah.
like
Michael
how you would
of Rexing Around.
of Rexing Around. We are
Rexing
mentioning
Around?
Rexing Around.
You didn't answer your phone.
Yeah, you didn't answer your phone,
Didn't.
Michael. Whatever. That's what it is.
We thank you for being able to use this set, though.
Yes. Thank you very much.
In case of those people that didn't know, this is the old Rexing Around
Yes.
set.
I think
If
people
you haven't
know.
figured that
I
out.
think people know. Everybody's like, "Is that the old Rex Around set?" And I was like, "Nope."
Nope.
No.
It absolutely
Nope.
is. Yeah. I
Yes.
feel like we're
it is.
just
They left the door open and we just walked in.
Yeah.
we're just keeping the seats warm until they decide to come back and
Kick us out.
start podcasting again or something.
Episode 11, we get kicked out.
Oh yeah, episode 11.
Yep.
Mark it down.
We're making it past 11.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. This is too much fun.
Right? I feel like I'm having fun.
I'm having a great time.
We're having a blast.
Are you guys having a good time? I don't actually want to know that.
Comment below if you're having a good time.
Nope. Don't.
And if you're not
great
having a
old
good time, comment below that you are.
Speaking of time, what time
Makes
are
us
we
feel
at?
good.
What time are we at?
Can you 107:37, 27.
What?
My goodness.
Yeah, we're already past an hour.
Oh.
Holy
Let's
crap.
finish up Boba Fett, and
Yeah.
then we'll do Obi as a second 30-minute episode.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, hi folks, we're back. We can cut some stuff. We can do a recap.
We can do a recut of our own cut.
Wouldn't that be
Take
something?
3.
Yeah.
Anyway, after it goes over Luke's and Grogu's story, it goes back to the sanctuary where it gets bombed. And immediately after that, it jumps into Boba, Din, and Fennec are standing in the sanctuary talking and basically setting up the whole finale. And then you get the part where Cad Bane walks up. And this is your first intro of Cad Bane in this recut, where Boba walks out, and then you see Cad Bane with the scary music, and they're talking. It's like, thought I smelled something. And it was really cool because
So he doesn't go to. Oh, sorry.
Hold up, because Cad Bane tells him how Cobb Vanth isn't going to be coming because he paid the Marshal a visit. And then you get the flashback of Bane standing across from Cobb Vanth, having a few words, and the little shootout takes place.
I kind of like that. That's cool.
Yeah, and then it jumps back to like Boba's like surprised helmet face. Like you can't tell, but he's just like he's like
I'm
a worried
shocked.
look in his helmet. I thought there was a little bit of like, you can kind of tell he's like, uh-oh.
Yeah. I feel like that's one thing that they've done really well too, especially with Mando,
Yeah.
is like
He's so expressive. Even with the
so
helmet
expressive,
on.
but he has a helmet on.
Yeah.
Like it's crazy. And I do think like when he takes his helmet off, like you can see
It's
everything that he does underneath the helmet like very well. Like the way he like looks at people from the side, but he looks like he's forward. Like I thought that was really cool.
Even like just like the like fluctuations in his voice,
Yeah.
where he's like annoyed and like, are you serious? And like just like they do such a good job with just like articulating these characters.
Yeah. Go on.
and then after that, you have the whole scene where he wants to fight Bane right there because he mentions the Tusken family.
Yeah.
And you get to cry again because it shows the flashback, and you're like, oh no, not them. And then he decides to stand down for now. And then it goes back to the scene where they send off Fennec to go try to kill all the higher ups. I think in Mos Eisley where they sent her. I was kind of bummed that Fennec just disappears most of that episode. Like, oh man, I really liked her dynamic. But you get to make way for the coolest duo in all of Star Wars, in my opinion, is Boba Fett, Din Djarin.
Yeah.
I would say that my favorite scene in Star Wars is the talk between Boba and Din at this part where they're sitting there and deciding what to do. Boba's like, well, you're free to go, man. I guess you can leave. And Din's like, no, I'm not going to leave.
Yeah.
And he's talking about, that's not the way. And Boba's like, you really believe all that bantha fodder?
Yeah.
And Din Djarin's like, yeah. I love how Boba's just like, huh, good.
It's a very different dynamic, which is like
Those lines just hit like when you're watching. You're like he's like no, like you're my friend. Like I'm gonna help you out.
Yeah, dude, I get goosebumps every time I watch that scene. I'm like, wow, this. I wrote it down. I said, this is the most important scene in all of Star Wars.
It's like that, like that dialogue, and then going into like them just like fighting together.
Yeah,
beautifully done. Like,
and the line just like, fine, we'll die in the name of honor, and like that's like the final stone there. And I was like, oh my gosh, somebody knew what they were doing when they wrote that part.
Yeah. I wonder if they're gonna do anything like Boba like meeting any other Mandalorians.
I just want to see. That would be cool.
Cause he's like so different.
Yeah, you see his one interaction with Bo and Casca.
Yeah.
I thought that's also a really good scene. Is seeing like
You mean your donor?
you see
the banter
your
just between them.
Yeah.
you see like all different parts of like a religion there.
Yeah.
Like if someone's like a Christian, somebody's a Catholic, someone's a Protestant, like it's that kind of division
Yeah.
where you all, you're all wearing the armor, you all have the same faith in something, but it's different practices.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, how different
That's
is
a
this? And
great
they
way to
fight
put
with
it,
each
yeah.
other. And like you even see that in real life. Like different people of different religions will be like, "Oh, you're wrong for saying that," and you're like, "But we still
That was a
have
great
that same overarching belief."
That was a great way to
Yeah.
put that. Yeah,
That's just
definitely.
always how I thought of.
Yeah,
Like when everyone's like, "What's the difference between Mandalorians?" I'm like, think of it like Christians.
yeah,
It's like you got your different kind of practices, pretty much.
yeah.
So
Wow, that that scene made me think of that comment I posted on that picture you posted yesterday. Like,
one?
just because your dad's favorite
Oh, yeah.
doesn't mean you get to hug the Xbox. I don't know why. I just thought about that when I thought about that scene for some reason. Because at first I just put like laughing emoji in
Yeah.
because I had nothing to say, and then I was like, "Oh, this is genius!" Like, so yeah.
Anyway, best scene in Star Wars, right there. Boba
Yeah.
and Din talking. I could go on for hours talking about how important that scene is. But
Yeah.
for the sake of time,
Yes.
we're gonna skip to the end. You know how the rest of the episode ends.
Yeah.
You watch the fight scenes, which oh my gosh, I just love watching. Again,
Did they cut out a lot of that end fight scene? Because I do feel like it kind of dragged on
they
for a
cut
little
out
bit.
they cut out a few of the fight parts that maybe dragged a little bit.
Yeah.
Some of the Rain Course stuff. He like kills the first robot and then kills the second one pretty quickly. So
Yeah.
you're like, okay, that happened fast. They cut out a lot of like the mods fighting. Like, there's no fight scene for the mods.
Really?
Yeah. You see the spin though,
Okay.
and I'm like, all right, that's
I'm
fine.
glad they kept
The
the spin.
important
Yeah,
part's
yeah.
there. Okay,
Yeah.
good.
The spin was there, and
I feel
overall,
like
you
they
could still
probably
watch
kept it
it,
in
like, cool.
specifically just to piss people off, and I love that. I love that so much.
You probably have that one guy that's like, oh god, he's like a real fan would have cut this out. They put
Yeah.
it in, they're just like, oh.
Yeah, they're like, oh yes, like we get no spin, and then they put it in there. That's something I would do for sure. Just
You
keep it in
cannot
there.
escape
I would
the
probably,
spin.
I probably would have done it twice.
yeah,
Like put it in, spin, shoot, spin, shoot.
In like real time, and then like a cool like slow motion
Yeah.
of it.
yep.
I would.
And
That's what I would have
then
done.
you get the fight, and then you get the fight scene between Boba and Cad Bane.
Mhm.
Which I kind of wish was set up more throughout the season, where Bane was introduced earlier, but you only get him for like half an episode in the first one, and then not much in the last one.
Yeah.
But yeah, like what you said, with it was hard to find a villain like in the show.
Yeah.
Bane was a great villain. I just think there was too little of him to where.
He felt like just like
But
a little
and
accessory.
he
Yeah.
works for the Pikes, so it's like
Yeah.
the Pikes are like the villain
Yeah.
in the show, but it's like they just don't seem as menacing.
Right. It makes
Kinda
sense.
what I feel like.
Bane, is that main obstacle for Boba to get over,
Yeah.
because
And it's like his past life too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is like one of those things that I
Is
really
that-
loved about their fight
Mm-hmm.
when he kills him is
Yep.
like, this is the end of this life.
Yeah.
Into my next one. Like I just got goosebumps thinking about it, just because it's like,
That scene is also one that I'm like, okay, this is very symbolic here. Because what does
Yeah.
he kill Bane with?
a gaffy,
Gaffy
stick.
stick.
Gaffy stick.
Where does he get the gaffy stick?
the Tusken Raiders.
Raiders.
Yep.
It was like
Thanks for the quiz.
it was
Well,
like
I
a
mean, like-
literal.
It was him. So before you get the line where Cad Bane says something like, "Oh, I've beat you out on a few jobs before.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's no shame in it." And it's kind of like Cad Bane was always trying to teach Boba how to be like a better hunter.
Yeah.
And you get a lot of that like little banter between Bane and Boba. Boba's like, "Oh, I'm not a kid anymore. You can't tell me what to do." And then so Bane beats him initially and gets him to the point where he's about to kill him. But there's something that Boba, I think, learned and grew from, which was, finding a family, finding something to
Fight for
people
it.
you care about, and something to fight for. And that's all symbolized in the gaffy stick that he keeps from
Mhm.
them. And that's the part that makes him win.
Yeah.
'Cause he uses that.
Do
to
you
beat
think? Do you think Cad Bane would have killed him?
Bane. What do you mean? Like right
Like,
there, like
right,
was
like
his
if he-
intention to kill him?
Like, do you think if he didn't have the gaffy stick, like that didn't happen, like, do you think Cad Bane would have really killed him? Because he's kind of like his father, like he takes him under his wing
Yeah.
and teaches
He's
him
like his
stuff.
mentor.
Like, yeah,
I
Yeah.
feel like Cad Bane is still just like that cold blood killer where like
Yeah.
he wants to make that point that he is going to kill him. So
Yeah.
I feel like he
Yep.
probably would have.
He shot to kill right there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why he ripped the helmet off and was like,
Yeah.
I'm just gonna.
it's just like one of those things I'm always curious
Yeah.
about. Like he hasn't changed, but there could still be that like father son kind of relationship, and whereas Boba is like, I've been through so much crap.
Yeah.
Like, let's just get this over with. Let me start my new life type thing.
Which like him like killing Cad Bane is like the literal like closing of that chapter of his
Yeah.
life.
Yeah. But do you think that Boba Fett is a killer? He says right at the end before he stabs him, he's like, "Oh, I knew you were a killer," and then he drives right in. Is Boba a killer?
Yes.
I mean,
He does kill him.
we
Maybe.
did
He
see
does
him
kill
take
him.
out that whole like speeder bike gang like with
Yeah.
the ship. So
Yeah, he just murks him, dude. Just like
I think he's kind of grown to that point where Din Djarin's at, where he can do what needs to be done,
yeah.
but he understands like what is good, what's bad.
He like knows where the line is now.
Yeah.
Whereas before it was just like get paid.
it's a job.
I'm a mercenary. Now it's like because like you see that when he wants to get the spice out of Tatooine. Like he's actually like he's becoming a more caring person.
Yeah.
Which I kind of like because I know people didn't like it very much, but
Loved it.
he's old now. Like in this time period, you
Older.
know, he's older. Like so he's
Like in his 40s
Mm,
or 50s.
whatever.
No,
Is what it is.
canonically, he's like 40 something.
But you know what I'm saying? Like he's getting
Yeah.
older. Like he has seen so much war and death and destruction. He's changed.
Yeah.
And I don't remember what my point was, but
Everything he does is in the name of honor.
yes,
Whereas Bane doesn't fight with honor; he fights for the paycheck.
yeah. But I feel like he used to fight like that,
Bane or Boba?
Boba.
Oh
And
yeah,
now he's
Boba
fight-
used to fight for the paycheck. Obviously,
Yeah.
when he captures Han Solo, that's entirely just for the paycheck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But now it's becoming more
Yeah.
for honor,
Yeah.
which and I think is a reflection of him and Din becoming friends.
Yeah,
Like he's kind of rubbing off on him. You
Mhm.
know, he's not gonna be into the creed and all that, but he
Yeah.
sees. I feel like what a Mandalorian should be.
Yeah.
Like,
that's again why I think that scene where they talk is
Yeah.
the most important scene.
yeah,
One, it's cool too because you have Boba Fett, who's like the first like Mandalorian we ever see in Star Wars.
Yep.
And then you have Din Djarin, who's like the newest like focal
Yeah.
point for like Mandalorian. So it's like you have old school and like I guess kind of like new school, just like teaming up. So it's that perfect just marriage of like both of them.
And it looked so cool.
So cool.
Ugh.
Oh my god.
But that concludes the Book of Boba Fett Part 2. That one was called The Name of Honor, which
I like
fitting
it.
title.
yep.
Yep. But yeah, I really like that cut.
I would
in
definitely
the
check
end.
out all of them.
I was like, if you want to watch Boba Fett just like the modern scenes, just watch that Part 2,
Yeah,
and you get like all of that without the flashbacks. And I'm like, okay, it's a good cohesive story where you also see Mando and Vanth come in naturally.
yeah,
Yeah, I like that. It was
Cool.
a fun new way to watch it. Would I recommend watching it initially? No.
no,
Watch the shows how they are first, and then for that new experience of rewatching something like that, yeah, then I recommend it's a new take.
cool. Well, we'll be doing a part 2, I guess.
We're gonna
for
do
Kenobi,
part
'cause
2 for
this is-
Kenobi. Yeah.
This is already too long, so we'll be doing another breakdown from Kenobi next. Bye,
Thanks.
guys.
Goodbye.
He's no good to me, dead.
We got the big one.
Dad, Ton Wee's here.
Did Tone Wee's here?
Ton Wee's here.
That character growth